Justin hasn't come down for dinner yet? I knew that girl was no good. She's corrupted your son's mind. She's a succubus. I'm telling you, Terry. She's enchanted my son. Patty, the boy just went through a bad breakup. If only he listened to me, he wouldn't have fallen in her trap. You know what? I'll go call him myself. Justin? Where did he go? The Collins live in the small, quiet town of Ballard, Utah. Here, there weren't many people, nor many places to go, but everyone knew everyone. Justin was Mr. and Mrs. Collins' youngest child, which was born to them at almost 50. Hence, to Mrs. Collins, Justin was the apple of her eye. Justin went to the local high school, was part of the neighborhood baseball league. He was an adventurous, fun-loving teen. But things changed ever since he began dating Cynthia. Where were you? Do you know how late you are? I got caught up with Friend's mom. Friends? Or that girl? Justin, you've been failing your classes. Your coach called me. You haven't been going to practice. Don't you see this girl is controlling you? Mom, I'm tired. I don't want to talk right now. Justin, listen to me. How am I going to make this boy understand? Terry, can you believe him? Kids these days, they don't listen to elders anymore. That girl is a witch. She's cast a spell on your son. Patty, he's growing up. You can't expect to be the only woman in your son's life. Give him some space. So I can lose my son to her? Can't you see she's a leech? She's ruining his life. Ever since Justin started dating Cynthia, she was all he could think about. It was as if all his ambitions went down the drain. He was skipping classes, wasting money, sneaking out at night. And most of all, he didn't listen to Patty anymore. To Justin, his mother was old, superstitious, and overly possessive, and best ignored. And while Patty was losing her mind, Terry was trying to cope with this teenage phase. But then, they broke up. Late one night, Justin simply walked in through the door as if he didn't even care about getting caught after clearly having snuck out. Justin, it's 2 a.m., where were you? But Justin simply went into his room and shut the door. And from then on, the boy had completely changed. He slept late into the day, he stopped going out or hanging out with friends. He stayed all alone in his room in the darkness. That wicked girl. I've been telling you, she was toying with him. She's a demon. She's cursed my son. Patty, he just needs time. Let him get over it. But days went by, and Justin only seemed to get more depressed and isolated. He stopped eating, and from what it seemed, he didn't sleep either. Justin, sweetheart, Mom made you everything you like. Oh, I can't wait. Let's watch the football game and eat. What do you say, champ? I'm not hungry. I knew it. She's a vampire. She's infected my son. He stays in the dark, he doesn't sleep, he doesn't eat. Maybe I should go talk to him. Terry tried speaking with Justin, but every time it seemed Justin was hardly even paying attention to him. Terry had expected this to be another phase, but now it seemed things were getting out of hand. What happened with this boy? It was 1 a.m., but Justin didn't care. Ever since that night, he had been waiting for this. He had been waiting for a chance to get her alone. And tonight, he would go to her place. He stood outside of Cynthia's house. The lights were all off. He jumped over the fence and around the house, peering into each window before he climbed up. There she was, sleeping. Justin pried the window open and stepped in, just as Cynthia woke up startled. "Justin?" She immediately got out of bed and went to him, tearing up. "Justin, I'm so sorry. I thought you were... I was too afraid to call. I didn't know what to do." Justin looked into her eyes. "So desperate to see me? I haven't stopped thinking about you. The wait is finally over." Justin and Cynthia were both seniors at the local BII High and have been dating for almost a year. But unfortunately, both their parents simply hated the other. Cynthia's parents were overly protective of their only daughter, and Justin's mother was old, outdated, superstitious, and overly possessive about her only son. But that didn't stop the teens from meeting each other, and they started to ditch school and practice just to be together. But there was just one problem. "I wish we could go somewhere a little more private." "Well, your place and my place are off limits, but I think I know what we can do." "What?" "You've heard of that ranch at the end of Bullard, right? I heard there's an abandoned treehouse there. Wanna go?" "To the ranch? Justin, no one goes there. You know what people say about that place, it's creepy." "Cynthia, do you really believe that? It's bogus. Everyone in this town is superstitious. Heck, they say Grandma Betty's spirit lurks on Baker Street at night." "Well, they wouldn't have said that if they never spotted her in the first place." "Cynthia, Grandma Betty isn't even dead." "Alright, fine. Isn't your mom one of those fanatics? How did you turn out a skeptic?" "Well, she does say one thing right. I wouldn't mind if you were a succubus." "Maybe I am, you just don't know yet. So, are we meeting up by the wooden post of the ranch?" "At 12. So, Justin and Cynthia decided they would take their bicycles and sneak out at night to the old tree house at the ranch. "Finally, you're here. I've been waiting 20 minutes. You know how hard it is to sneak out of my place?" Justin and Cynthia walked along the path into the ranch. After the owner and his family simply disappeared from their property, people started spreading rumors of ghosts, spooks, and more. Later, folk who went to search apparently went missing themselves, and eventually, the townspeople decided to abandon the whole ranch. Was that the sound of coyotes? Don't worry, they're naturally afraid of people, as long as you don't make the mistake of running. Justin and Cynthia reached the treehouse without much trouble. But it was the moment they got in. Cynthia yelped out, seeing a coyote crouched up in the darkness. Justin quickly silenced her and took out his Zippo and lit it. The coyote stared at them viciously. But Justin swiftly took out his pocket knife and yelled at the animal, "Get out of here! Go!" The coyote instantly backed away and jumped out. But it wasn't a while before Cynthia could get comfortable. The couple spent a fun night there before sneaking back home. and soon, this became a regular for them. It was one night, Justin reached the treehouse, surprised to see Cynthia waiting for him. "You're here early tonight. Couldn't get you out of my mind. You look beautiful. You like it? How long are you going to keep me waiting, Justin?" "Waiting? For what?" "You know for what." "I thought you wanted to wait." "No, Justin, tonight is the night." As Cynthia neared closer to him, Justin got extremely excited, but just as he was about to hold her, they heard a noise from the ladder. "Justin?" Justin turned around, looking at Cynthia. Shocked to her core, she stared at someone who looked exactly like her. Justin stumbled back as he looked at the two. "What? How can this be? Who are you?" "That's not me, Justin." With a smirk on its face, it got up and suddenly morphed its shape. "You shouldn't have come here. You step into my territory, you become my prey." Seeing her, Cynthia screamed out in fear. "Justin, run!" Somehow managing to push the creature away, Justin and Cynthia jumped out of the treehouse. Go get your bike!" They both scrambled onto their bicycles, heedless of the injuries they had gotten. Cynthia and Justin began to ride off. As she turned, horrified to see the thing morph into a coyote. And jump out, chasing after them. "Justin, it's behind you! Go, Cynthia, go!" Cynthia didn't stop that night until she reached her house and snuck in, trembling in fear as she wrapped herself in her blanket. She didn't know what it was, but she knew whatever it was wanted their lives. She was devastated thinking about Justin. Was he alright? Did he escape? There was no way she could go back now, and she was too afraid to tell her parents. The next day, Cynthia anxiously waited by the phone, hoping Justin would call her, let her know he was alright, but he didn't. Cynthia thought about calling his place, but she was too afraid of his mother. She tried calling his friends, but they all said they hadn't seen him around. Days went by, and Cynthia waited desperately, hoping Justin would come to her or send her news. And finally, he came. "You had me so worried. I thought you were dead." "We're never going there again, Justin. What was that thing?" "Did you tell anyone about it?" "No. Are you crazy? I've just been waiting here in the dark, worried sick about you." "So, you're the only one who knows my secret now." Seeing the smirk appear on Justin's lips, Cynthia stepped back, confused. "What? Did you really think you could run away from me?" "No." It was many, many years ago. A man in town had bought this land, thinking he'd build a ranch. He moved in with his wife and children, and they were happy until strange things began to happen. Sweetheart, come here. Linda, when did you get here? Weren't you in the house? Come with me, George. George, what are you doing out in the woods? I thought you went to the orchard. No, honey, I was here. There's something I need to show you. Come. Mom? Dad? Where are you? Mom? Dad? No one knew whatever happened to the family. They say they simply disappeared. Those who went never returned, and those who did never survived. And now, no one dares step foot in the Skinwalker Ranch. Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.